Okay, well, okay.
I'll
Halldamir,
do
go.
it. I'll
Go.
do it.
I did
So,
last week.
You did, Jonas. You did do the recap last week. This week, or
Just
last
roll.
week even, after the recap. Oh, it's a travesty already. There was a lot of intriguing. We decided, as a party, very quickly, that we now want to be Lord of the Marshes. So our challenge was to convince Lord Butterwell to go with the plan instead of Dondarrion. His plan was to convince us of the opposite, to go with Dondarrion instead of us. And with some precision sniping of his allies, we succeeded. With some very odd conversations between Alaric and people. It was awful. Burning Destiny, that was great. And spending of Destiny from the Brie. And after winning that, we kind of faded out because that whole thing took such a long time. It was just rough. The whole thing was rough.
Something else major also happened.
Wow, Halldamir.
Oh yes, of course.
Wow.
Of course. I'm sorry, I forgot. It's been a rough week. It's been
I've
a rough
been
week.
crying for a week.
It's
I
it's
love
been a
that
rough
man.
week, all right.
Oh,
Nima,
why do we have to cry so much?
I don't know. Nima took care of a problem that we had.
He was not a problem. He was an angel. Love him.
Wow, someone has turned around on him.
Someone's done around, yeah.
Yeah. I think I've said to Malachi so many times, I so regret what I did. Why did I do it?
You can never take it back. Never
Yeah, I
change it.
can't take it back.
You also have this
She
little mod.
burns all of her destiny.
Let's elaborate to the people who don't know, though.
Yeah.
Nima poisoned Halen and proceeded to make sure he died, which was sad. And he fought valiantly like a true knight until his head exploded, effectively.
Halldamir,
Yeah.
you're forgetting the most important thing. She stabbed the teacher.
Yes, and the fucking teacher, the
yeah.
poor innocent teacher, got brutally
What?
murdered.
Well, who do you think was at fault for that? Halen, he just had to say he was poisoned. If he hadn't said that, the teacher would have been okay
Damn.
for a while.
Poor, for a while.
And I also wrote on Halen's chest, Lanus is next.
Yeah.
And I left a badge from the vultures.
Run away, Tina's trying to kill.
And
Well, I'm not gonna do anything to Lanus. It's a scheme, dog. I'll never hurt you. You poor baby.
I mean, we have a creepy necromancer alchemist in the basement. Maybe he can revive Halen.
oh.
And Alaric is also marrying a.
Sorceress of blood and doom and magic. Yes. We at this point we
Someone had
could
to.
resurrect everybody. Let's be honest.
So what point did where did we end last time after all that?
With people leaving
In
their
tears.
castles on the way to respite for the trial. Not trial. Trial? God fucking damn it.
I mean,
I'm just gonna
You don't know that yet, but
fuck everything. God damn it.
You come up to get this and he's
I
gone.
give
It's
up.
just a note.
they got it all in the CCVs.
I'm
Yeah.
out.
Alright, so the recap's a fucking mess. That's,
It's fine.
whatever.
It's fine.
If you're
Dark,
at this point, you fucking know.
Yeah. Let's start though. But Dark, we've been doing stuff. It's been some time. You should roll a stewardship roll.
Sure. What? Let me just find where Lenus' token is.
It is around.
It's somewhere in this never-ending mount of corridors.
You
It's
are
on the
here.
tower.
It's on the tower.
Tower next to the stable. Right next to Hugo.
Found it. Thank you.
No problem.
Everything is right next to Hugo.
Malachi.
Yep.
So technically Halen's dead. Which do I remain the +1 from air or +2 from head of the house now?
+1, you have not been inducted. Basically, also this is like, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just double checking. Because mechanics.
16 makes
Okay.
it a curse.
Okay. Well, if we make it say a 15, what would 15 be?
How do you make it a 15?
By swapping out the 4 for a 3.
Oh. 15 is growth.
That sounds nice.
Can we get anything else? We have a 3.
What's,
could drop
what's
it by-
the...
We could drop it by 3. We could drop it by 2.
Where's the table? Ugh.
It's in the game mastering section, so I think, or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, I'm taking care of it.
Oh,
Around.
it's just...
So, what happens if we drop it by 2?
Get a blessing.
Okay. And a
Don't know
3?
which ones.
I forgot, is blessing better or...
I think growth's better.
By 3, we decline.
Okay, so it's a blessing or growth?
I think the growth is better, so...
Is growth better?
I can't remember.
Is growth better, you ask? Well, let me tell you about that as soon as I find it.
Let's just buy that as well. God damn it.
Here we go. Growth is a resource by 1 point. Blessing is 1 to 3.
Okay,
Or
one
2 by
blessing.
1.
Or 2 plus 1. Two ones.
You know, with
It's
things
what's
coming up, with things coming up, maybe throw that in, and let 1d3 into power, because we
do need army. We do need an army.
right, even if we fail here.
What would be your justification?
The justification is, oh god.
What sort of thing has happened?
Here's a good justification. The damn prince has been here, and with that kind of attention on our land, and that kind of influence around, the small folk, they've been very easy to rally to our side and recruit for the army.
Okay, sure.
I mean, the prince is kind of a big
influx.
Yeah.
prince is kind
You
of
have
a
been
big
signing up, being patriotic.
deal. The prince
Yeah.
is a big deal.
we have notes on the taverns.
Okay, that brings
So roll a d3.
yeah, so D3. Okay, apparently we have 5 spare. Woohoo! So that brings us up to
That's like a green infantry
36.
regiment.
Yeah. Let's get engineers for everything, and then shoot wildfire at anything that comes close.
You know, I have no regrets about having two bonus dice in stewardship. It's useful.
It is. It's very useful.
And that will
I
only
don't
go
think
to the
you're
game goes on.
supposed to do that, select the bonus dice, but that's what we're doing for now anyway.
You can. That's the thing. You can select which dice to drop. I think we checked that at some point.
yeah, it's pretty
It
much
doesn't
like
say
any.
anything about it, so we just made it that way.
But it's a thing. That means we have 8 power spare, effectively,
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright.
which is nice.
So that yeah, there's been an influx of peasants doing stuff,
Mhm.
and you still have royal guests. They're not going to leave before the election, after all. Not
Mhm.
now, because they got stuff to do.
Such as speaking on our behalf.
Yes, obviously.
Which could
Now,
backfire on us.
looking ahead, how do each of your characters feel about this situation, about how this has advanced, basically? Can we go around and have that? Bit of a-
It's like a small internal monologue each.
Yeah, like how are you feeling about this?
Well, I'll go first because I feel like going first. Lanus, since he doesn't know about his brother's situation, is currently feeling pretty good, pretty confident, very motivated right now, considering what he and Desmond just managed to pull off. It was something which, if you told him like you were going to do this before, he would have like just coughed and just thought you were joking. But now he realized he has a shot, that he can make his house strong, even stronger than before. he can go and try and make through his efforts, his house might get as much glory as it got all the way back during its foundings and through its time and growth. He's confident and resolute and kind of excited, if a bit nervous.
Yeah. Next.
Alaric's, kind of... At this point, he's given up trying to keep up with what's happening because everything is just changing so quickly. As far as he knew, he was just making an army for the prince. Like a small couple of units for the prince. And now we're, trying to become, the lords of the marches, and, everything is crazy, and, High Garden's looking pretty nice now. So, yeah. He just wants to go back to fighting and, being knightly again. Yeah.
How does Neva feel about all this?
The election and
All things that are going on right now.
the election and the king's hand, she doesn't care, just as long as the house is fine. But she thinks it's a bad idea to put the house on the spotlight like they're doing right now. But she's not gonna go and try to tell the house how to do housework, because they obviously know what they're doing. She is kind of sure. She is kind of down about Hayden, because it really spoke to her that she has been thinking a lot, was it the right thing to do? What would what would Oren as Caladan have done? She thinks a lot what he would think of what Yma has done. But she keeps telling himself that it was the right thing to do, because she was gonna hurt the rest of the family, so it was for the better good. And that's it.
Jonas?
Conscience for the damn family that saved her dark, Halldamir.
Well, what does he feel? He is slightly sad about Halen. Killing a nephew is not fun, and it weighs on him. He wished there had been another way, but he simply just made it so fucking impossible, and refused to listen, and was just a bastard. So in the end, this is kind of what had to be done. The power grab, doesn't realize that this might be his last shot to make the house great again, and it's time to take that shot. It would have been smarter to lay low, try to play kingmaker, but no, we're gonna make our own king, so to speak. We're gonna try. It's not the smartest, but it is the most ambitious, and with that, it is what it is. Things had to be sacrificed, and things have been sacrificed. Oh boy, have they! But we'll try, and maybe, hopefully, once we grab power, Halen's death won't be for nothing.
Yeah. So, it is only a few days before the corpses of Halen and the teacher are brought back here for you to identify them as indeed Halen and the Lord.
Yeah.
He appears to be dead. You're allowed to examine him yourself. He's brought to the maester's quarters, though there's no maester in them right now.
Mm-hmm.
The guards generally don't really make a judgment. How do you basically he's brought in, right, and you're told about it. Do you make it sort of hushed, or do you make a big scene out of it, or?
No, I imagine we treat it with the proper gravitas and respect that would be needed and appropriate for the situation when a lord of the house has been killed by bandits. You know.
So much panic, much grief, much black clothing. And
Black clothing, certainly.
Panic and grief are certainly appropriate in Lanus' case.
Yep.
How does Lanus feel? I don't think he knew about this. When basically, one day, a few riders of the scouts have been sent out to scout basically and patrol, return, and he hears that, he probably is like doing something in his room or something, he hears basically, as Lucas runs in and says that Halen is dead. He's been found on the way to respite, it seems.
Lanus would just
Bleeding
freeze
crazily from his mouth, eyes, and ears, nose.
Lanus would just freeze a bit, look over, put down the whatever he was working on, just essentially ask Lucas where, and goes to see his brother's body.
Sure.
He needs to see this for himself.
He's been brought to the Maester's quarters. It's about a day old at this point. It's been, just been laying there. Lucas is kind of staying outside, really.
And then he kind of goes over, sees the state it's in.
Yeah, it's clearly like the sword was drawn. It's been put on his side. Yeah, there's lots of bleeding, lots of red marks, bulging veins in his face, basically that have been anyway stretched, but are now, of course, sort of darkened, pale and blue, as most of the blood has run out of his face and head. He has no real stab wounds or anything like that. He's clearly he was not like injured as such when this happened.
You sure do have injuries.
Well, I mean, he has an injury which is like a message cut in his chest.
Yeah, that's an injury.
Well, it looks like a post-mortem injury.
How would they know? I did it when he died.
Well, not a lot of blood has run from it compared to his face, which would suggest that the blood ran out of his face first.
Oh, damn it.
Also, in a fight, you don't generally write a message like that on during a fight.
Unless you're Zoro.
Yes, Sorrow. Yeah. Yeah. It basically says that Lanus is next.
Lanus is. I assume Desmond's actually come down.
He's standing here.
Desmond is standing there.
Lanus is there, just frozen. Any color run from his face. He kind of just looks at this. His eyes kind of reading across the stab wounds again and again and again, almost like in disbelief, unable to really process it.
Desmond will take a few steps forward and try to put a hand on his shoulder. And he will sigh, look at Halen. And
How did this? How could this?
He looks down at him. Shakes his head again.
Lanus repeatedly tries to ask something, just can't get the words out.
Next to Halen, of course, is his sword, some of the teacher's stuff that was spilled out. His water bottle is laying there. It was dropped on the floor, on the ground. Then there's like a piece of cloth that has like the vulture mark on it. So the things that were around him have been picked up and put in a little butchel and then taken here, put next to him.
2 lords in as many months. Shakes his head. The vultures need to be destroyed.
They will be destroyed. Every one of them.
Nods. Yes.
They will be reefed in flames.
Yes. In more ways than one, I think. Looks at him. We need to... We need to take care of the body. I'll do the arrangements. He sighs.
Fine, go. Go do it.
He nods. Retreating away. And stepping out. Looking around. Shakes his head. It is Halen, and he is dead. The body is a mess. Cut up by vultures, no doubt. I need to see to the arrangements. Looks, throws a glance to Lucas. Make sure he doesn't hurt himself.
Lucas will walk into the room worryingly, as this is not really... Yeah.
As said, Linus is just whacked the bed and is just on his knees there, just trying and process everything.
Lucas moves over and sort of kneels down slightly and moves a hand to his shoulder, looking and frowning slightly concerned.
Linus blinks slightly as a hand is moved to his shoulder. Taking a second, turning his gaze towards Lucas. I'm sorry, I shouldn't.
Says, it's all right. Just get it out. I'll make sure that nobody comes here.
Thanks, Lucas. Thanks.
He sort of a soft squeeze to the shoulder. She stands up and says, I'll talk whenever you need to.
Linus nods.
Oh. She look over at him. Says, you were always a brother to me. Before he sort of goes to timidly walk out.
As you are to me. What are to me?
Sees Elric, locks the door, closes it behind him. Linus does not wish to be disturbed.
Alaric just nods.
It's just tough on him.
He doesn't really say too much.
Just sits down, leaning against the door, basically. He doesn't go to get any duties done.
Alaric will sit. He will stand. Just solemnly.
Linus is going to take a bit. Quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to reel through his emotions, trying to work something out, trying to figure out some kind of answer in his head, likely turning to the gods and trying to give whatever prayers and self-comfort he can through it.
Perhaps he's ever more than now than ever, sort of feeling the lack of any religious symbols he can turn to. No eyes are staring, no faces are gazing. There are really not many icons in this place at all. The smithy being the most holy one because it has a slight icon of the smith, and only the smith. Helen's quarters, perhaps, might have some, but
Linus is trying, if possibly only for his brother, to try and seek some solace in the gods right now. Well, they've got to exist, right? And they'll take care of them however they can now. Though for Linus, certainly the lack of religious symbols is more apparent when such a pious person is dead in front of him.
uh-huh.
Something that isn't easily refutable.
Maybe this is indeed a place where the gods can't see, because of all the wickedness that are gathered here. Yeah. What is Desmond going to prepare?
Well, prepare the funeral, basically.
Okay.
Get whatever preparations needed for that going. I mean, body can't lay around here.
Quick ceremony, just done in.
Yeah, tip him over the wall. That's that.
What?
There's not even a moat. Just
Probably get the funeral ceremony and things done. Probably invite the king's hand and the prince to witness.
Since they're here.
It would be an honor for the house, and their testimony of his death would certainly be useful. Clean up the corpse, remove all the blood and stuff from his eyes, and basically clean him up. The cuts can't really do that much, but they are sending the message, and that's important that that's visible. So. Yeah.
Where is she interred?
Yes, where do we inter our dead?
Well, I think the most appropriate place might be besides Lance's late father.
Sure, seems fitting.
The
ruin, the old ruin.
Where the Caladan dead lie, once under the floor of the Grand Sept.
Yep.
Now just under the rubble.
We'll get that thing rebuilt at some point.
The gods need to stop ignoring this place.
A bit of a hallmark, perhaps.
Despair, all ye who enter here. Sign of the Caladan lands.
I wouldn't be surprised if a peasant could write. They would write that.
Where art thou, gods, now? Yeah.
Look
But
upon see mighty and
with the
and
Butterwells and the prince will enter. The prince has a stern look, uncaring, thinking clearly, while Butterwell is giving his utmost condolences to all of you.
And this foul murder by the vultures just showed that Desmond was right all the time. They are incredibly dangerous. Must of course be dealt with very firmly, which will be done after this election is fixed.
Of course, Butterwell would say that. I mean, of course, you're gonna go through with the plan. You know?
Of course.
You're not gonna demilitarize things and abolish the job when you have it.
Yes, of course. But the house must also take a look at these vultures. Clearly, their borders need to be shored up.
That's something to deal with after the demilitarization. The king's army will come and help with that.
Oh, that's great.
That is what an army is for in this modern world. It's modern times.
Wonderful.
And so, without too much ceremony, Halen Caladan is in the ground and gone.
Yeah.
The Lord's chambers are empty once more, and the house is without a lord.
Well, we aren't though, because it's time to proclaim a new lord.
Uh-huh.
The Lord
How's
is dead.
that done?
Long live the Lord. Well, I imagine the news must be brought out. Every peasant must do the mourning. Lanus, who is liked by the peasants, should probably ride around a little bit, maybe do a tour of our villages and stuff, hamlets or whatever we have, hovels.
Yeah, it's basically farmsteads. And
It's like the odd house here and there.
The barn that is soon to set up.
the castle town has like a few houses around it, basically, but beyond that, it's just there's not really any gathered community in the land.
Yep. But basically do the tour, basically proclaim, I don't know, a month of mourning or something, and parade around as the new lord. That's basically what he needs to do. Take a few people with you.
All right.
Lanus's normal color of dress will certainly darken slightly, significantly.
Yeah, give it a day or two, and then on the day before the arrival of everyone else, every guest and
I mean,
stuff.
people will begin to trickle in, basically.
Oh, sure.
Synchronized travel is not really a thing they do.
Sure.
Synchronized watches.
But at some point in the near future, Desmond would like a short council meeting.
Let's have it.
Okay.
What kind of council meeting is that?
Some info council meeting on the state of the house and what's coming up, basically. Everyone's invited.
Okay, I just want to know if I was invited or not.
You are.
Okay, I don't really have any news.
No, but I do.
Okay. Well,
Lanus also during the huge period of basically like the huge mourning and everything is going.
oh yeah, right.
It's probably going to break down in front of Lucas for a little while.
Sure. Lucas is rather supportive. He's grown a lot in these last couple of months, and
A lot's happened.
yeah. Linus knows that Lucas still sort of goes out to the forest to like train against a tree and stuff.
Oh, it's adorable.
Yeah, Alaric hasn't uninvited him from the training with Lanus, actually.
I just haven't been as much of that.
Hasn't been too much.
Maybe I need a new squire, huh?
Yeah, you know.
Lucas the lowborn. Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll
Lucas
go with
Lowborn.
someone highborn, you know.
It wouldn't be the most scandalous thing this house has done.
It's true,
No.
It'd probably be the least scandalous thing we've done, in honesty.
People
Yes.
gather, certainly.
Linus.
Said is wearing a beautiful black velvet gown. One she was perhaps sent by her family for some occasion.
Desmond is wearing a black suit as well, basically. A somber white cravat and like with silver inlays on the arms and legs of his suit. Looks very somber.
There's also no denying that Rosette is pregnant at this point. It's been a few months, and it is definitely showing. He's not hiding it though.
Yeah, there's no point. Okay. Desmond looks around with his sacks of papers and missives and notes and things he always carries around to these meetings. And he clears his throat and says, "Our house has been hit hard over the last few months. There's been a tumultuous time, and we are still reeling from it. However, we are in a period of mourning, but it is, I am sad to say, ill-timed. I do not want to hurt your feelings, my lord," looking over to Lanus. "But at this critical junction, a cold head and leadership is what the house needs." I will, of course, provide advice as I always do. Looks around, picks in his different papers. We have made a bid for power, and it is incredibly ambitious. It is not perhaps the most careful thing we could have done, but it is, I believe, the right thing that we have done. We need to put our house back on the map. We have worked ceaselessly with diplomacy and our influence. We have built it up over the years. But it is time for us to step out of the shadows, step out from behind the throne and out onto the stage itself. Looks around for dramatic effect. The Lord's
Sits,
meeting.
regally with amazing posture.
Mm-hmm.
Cyrus just sort of listens, half interested.
We will have opposition. The key is to balance the different powers here. We don't contain much troops anymore since the prince have claimed 2 of our regiments. Looks over to Alaric. When can the next troops be trained, Sir Alaric?
Alaric shrugs and says it depends how the local populace take their time to mourn the loss of their lord. But shouldn't be too long. Never is.
Nods slowly. I have some information about the upcoming vote. There has been some developments that I think we all here need to understand to try to anticipate some of the dangers we are walking into.
Go on.
Bittersteel will be at the vote. That is quite confirmed by my sources.
I see.
Exactly what he will try to do here, I can only guess. I am sure he will try to work the lords and dissuade them from supporting us.
Just what we needed.
Yes. Of the assembled lords, we know for a fact that House Peak will certainly vote for itself. Now, with our contact with Peak severed, because of the death of Halen, I am unsure what the plan states. Nevertheless, we have certainly stepped away from that plan by our own power grab. I don't think we can, at this point, really predict what Peak would do, which might be dangerous. I don't know. Our house will vote for us. Charlie will vote with us, I am sure. I'm also sure that House Karen will vote for us. With the newly created votes of Lord Karen, splitting his estate. Selmy and Dondarian will probably go where Butterwell directs them, which is us. Peaceberry, he shrugs. Peaceberry wants to keep the things he enjoys, and if we can ensure that he can keep that, well, he can probably be persuaded to join us. I have something in mind for that I hope will bear fruit. Swan, well, he's an old lord. He is on his way out, but eager to prove himself, and he respects great warriors. Looking over to Alaric.
Alaric nods.
I was thinking that perhaps Sir Alaric could be a key to Lord Swan, in part because he is also more or less betrothed to one of his daughters. I just imagine Alaric eating something.
Yeah, drinking.
Yeah, but like, oh, what?
Eating 10,000 calories a day to sustain this body mass.
Fossaway. There's some strikes. I don't know. Fossaway is a mystery at this point. Ashford will vote for Peak because of our enmity. Peak will vote for himself, of course. Might still split his estate to 3 votes. And Trent will vote for Peak. All in all,
Peak will split if it thinks it has a chance of winning, but not by a landslide.
all in all, we have 8 votes by my calculation, being our own, Tarley, 2 of Karen's, Selmy, Peacebury, Dondarian, and Swan. That would leave...
Yeah, a bit of a correction. Kieran does not have 2 votes. He's making 1 new lord. His other vassal basically is a landed knight.
Oh, okay, I thought
He's not high enough born to get
Only
2.
one knight.
In
Only
that
one
case,
vote.
we have 7 votes.
7-2.
Well, Ashford, Trent, and 3 of Peaks,
If he splits.
if he splits, which would be 5. That leaves Fossaway. Could go to Peak. It will make him 6 against our 7. All in all, it looks good. But if we want to try to undermine the enemy in this regard, I think Lord Trent is the key to the enemy's holding together. He has some connections on our side, to our side of this. And if we can somehow persuade him to abstain, at least.
Lady
He's good.
Swan may be the key to that.
Yes, we have to go through the swans.
She's the favoured niece of Lord Trent.
And a strong ally.
Exactly. Could be enough for him to abstain at the very least.
Or at least make Peak worried enough.
Indeed.
The thing with our old plan is that I'm not sure Peak will split. As you said, he will only split if he thinks he can win.
It's true.
If he doesn't split, then we should win regardless.
Yes. His only chance is to split, or if he can somehow convince people on our side to switch. Which I'm not exactly sure how he would.
He's not going to get Karen on his side. Let's be. And Tarley?
Tarley would go with us if for no other reason that they hate the Peaks about as much as we do.
We don't have much issue with that. Swan, I guess, could be changed. Potentially.
Swan good. Well, the only way to really know is when he or she or both arrive.
So we have Bittersteel. He's going to be here.
We do have both the Prince and Butterwell.
Yes. He will not try to do anything openly, for no other reason than the Prince won't tolerate it. But still, he is a problem. I am not sure exactly how to solve it, but perhaps an opportunity will present itself. Lord Trent would be good to eliminate in some regard. He is the key to this, and to the enemy's opposition. We are also gathering all of the lords and ladies on our lands. I have heard whispers of attempts to escalate this whole affair. Maybe make it come to blows. To destabilize the marshes completely. It is an arena open for all sorts of cloak and dagger and skullduggery. We need to be vigilant, and we must try to calm the storm that will be rising from this. We can't give them an excuse to start fighting. I would advise that we try our best to see that happening. All of us in our own way. Looking around the table. That is basically the report. And he like dumps the different papers and stuff to Lanus.
He starts looking over them.
Cyrus leans forward a little bit, looks at all of you, says, "So what if this peak was to die?"
Well,
Sort of spreads his hands out as a what if.
well, if Peak dies, and we are not in any way implicated in that death, then I would imagine that his daughter, or was it, who is next in line for Peak? He
His
thinks.
son.
Is it Gorman the Younger?
Son. No, his son. Gorman the Younger is his grandson, so he has
Yeah.
quite a lot of heirs.
And his son was the dude who had no.
He's a steward, mostly.
He was the steward dude. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will go to the steward, who is a man of peace? Question mark.
Yeah. So he likes money. He's a Butterwell kind of dude, if I remember right.
Yeah, he's a Peaceberry Budwell type of dude. He likes money.
Yes.
The thing is, I don't. If Old Peak dies, a lot of the enmity towards the house dies with him. Gorman the Younger might be completely livid with the death of Halen, but he can't prove anything. And all like suspicions point south towards the vultures. Hopefully, I'm hoping that will be enough to direct his anger there and actually, in a way, be able to get him on our side to avenge Halen.
As much as I hate it, it's probably a good thing to keep Gormy alive for now. Since the old dude. The old Gorman.
It's difficult to say exactly what would happen if he were to die. Like, the ramifications are...
It could go
unsure.
a multitude of ways, that's the thing I'm saying. None aren't guaranteed, or even close to.
It is just to remember that I have done this sort of thing before. A big peace talk, big conference, yes? And they all died. It was easy. No one even knew a thing. That is why I'm here. There are other places I could leave to if this was to happen again.
We are not killing.
He sort of smiles.
Don't kill all of us. I mean, come on.
Imagine, though, if we killed all of them.
At times, it is tempting. He sort of smiles. Even at such a moment as this, I could simply drop a thing and be gone.
You will burn with us.
You wouldn't get out of this council chamber, buddy.
Yeah, you wouldn't. You wouldn't get out of here alive. Don't even kid yourself. Like, it's... Have you seen Alaric? He can take wildfire.
Could until it goes through all of my armor. I'll be fine.
Yeah, for
No,
a
no,
round.
wildfire specifically says it ignores armor.
You can take it for a round or two.
I could handle at least a couple of rounds. Long enough to kill this motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
I only need one
a lot
swing.
of will to actually stay like coherent and able to do anything while burning.
It's fine. I'll direct you.
Direct me while I'm blessed by my
will-
my anointment.
Besides, it's not really fire that he's talking about. His specialty actually isn't as much fire, at least his knowledge, as it is scentless, deadly poisons that can allegedly spread through the air.
Hmm.
For all we know, he's already dropped one.
Well, campaign over, I guess. Oh,
He
there
just
it
sort of
goes.
leans back and says, "I was
seconds.
simply having the amusing thought of it, and wanted to share, as I had that requested of me.
Mhm.
Also,
I mean-
congratulations." He sort of looks to Linus and does a little bit of a nod.
Thank you. Slightly bitter response. Still, dressed in black mourning.
Cyrus isn't.
I mean, it's good to know that if we need an incredibly deadly poison to really kill someone, we can do it. I would see it as a last resort.
Desm says, looking at Nima. Looks at Nima, looks at
And
Desm.
then winks.
Everyone
at
looks at, yeah. Sid does a, and then they, Desm does like, Halen. And then she's like, oh.
As Lanus rolls his empathy, his bonus die to empathy.
And rolls all ones. It's like, it's perfect.
Point is, I do have bonus die in empathy, meaning I might actually pick something up if you stop doing this.
Rosette doesn't seem to have a whole lot to say right now about all this.
Yeah, that's the info I had. But still at the vote. Trent is a key to the enemy's defense. And there might be several attempts to rile up the situation to make it come to violence. Basically sabotage or terrorism in a way.
Has the prince had our troops leave, or are they still here ready to go with him?
I think
They're here, keeping a low profile at the moment. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want Butterwell to know.
How long will it be before we will hear from... I'm sorry, I forgot her name, but Alec's future wife-to-be.
She's coming here.
Well, she might be coming.
But